Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Parent and Child series. Today is our third episode in our home office suite, and let's talk about the 4 steps to home office security. The 4 cornerstones of home office security when it comes to software packages are, in my opinion, IP Fire, Fail to Ban, Roundcube, and nextcloud. And we will take the next 2 sessions to walk you through why I think those are the important cornerstones of office safety. Let's take a look at what it is. So, first of all, IP Fire is a software solution to set up a firewall and router system for your home network. I know Windows comes with a firewall, your router comes with a firewall. Why do we need a dedicated firewall? Because it is dedicated. The only purpose of this machine will be to be a strong entrance door to your home network. That is the only purpose, and that is what it's built for. So it's not an add-on feature, it is the basic purpose of this machine. And it is the basic purpose of this software. And it is run by you. That means you are setting it up, you are maintaining it, and nobody else will have a hand in it but you. So IP Fire is the first system which you set up to make your home office safe. Our next step is Fail to Ban. Fail to Ban is an intruder prevention system which is basically a lock which registers how many attempts to unlock your network is experiencing, and you can choose after how many unsuccessful attempts of logging onto your network IP addresses are banned from further tries and how long. That gives you security against people who just randomly try to access your net or purposely try to access your net and try to figure out where your weak points are and probably try to figure out how you manage your passwords or what your passwords are. So, Fail to Ban is the next step which is regulating the traffic which comes onto your network. So the firewall is the first step which prevents unsolicited traffic to and from your network, and the failed to ban the intrusion preventing system is here to ban or prevent people who come onto your network to do things you don't want them to do. The next step is a mail system which allows you to open your mail without running the risk of infecting your computer. And there are various My favorite one is roundcube because it is easy and safe. So you need to prevent your home office from infections via email, and one of the easiest methods to do so is not to have the email on your home system, but use a dedicated email server, or in the case of roundcube, you can also use your internet service provider or your hosting company to host your emails for yourself. In that case, you always have an added layer of security because the malware or virus or whatever malicious software doesn't reach your server, your machine, your PC or your laptop before you open it, and it has to go through the virus detection system while you open it. So whatever software is attached to the email is not reaching your machine as long as you don't execute it. And the last and fourth cornerstone in the network security is using your own cloud, not using a third-party service like Google Cloud or whatever, because that gives you peace of mind for all your data, because they are all stored on your own server. No employee of any other company has access to your photos, to your documents. You are the sole owner of all of your documents. So those are the four cornerstones of home office security when it comes to software. I mean, there is a lot more you can do, but if you have those four software packages and dedicated machines installed and running, you should be pretty safe from the basic threats the internet is posing to us. I know it is effort and I know it will cost money, but be assured, losing your personal data, losing your passwords, losing your photos, your documents, your access to your own machines is more expensive on the long run. And what we must not forget is we are at the start of a development. Home office will become something much bigger over the next years, and in general, internet access and internet safety will be on the forefront of our minds over the next few years. So, taking the steps now, adjusting to a new world, is something you will have to do. And the earlier you start, the lesser risk you're taking. And today we will start with IP Fire, with our firewall, and I will talk you through all the basic steps you have to undertake to get an IP Fire installation to work. You can always inquire to get information about a custom-made IP Fire machine. Just send us an email at video@witnosh.net. So in my opinion, the basic hardware is a ProLiant Generation 7 microserver, but any other machine which runs a 64-bit processor CPU should do. You should provide 8 GB of RAM for speed purposes, a 4-port NIC, so that you can divide your LAN into different zones. You would probably want a wireless PCI card for setting up a secure wireless network. You need a 250 GB HD or a 64 GB USB stick to run the software, and you need a 16 GB USB stick for software installation. If you do it all on your own, you're looking at something between 150 to 350 pounds to have the necessary hardware, to obtain the necessary hardware, and you're looking probably something around the 400 to 500 pound mark if you want to have a complete custom-made system. To follow the installation process, you first need to update the BIOS of whatever machine you're using to the latest available BIOS. Then you have to install the network interface card, the 4-port NIC. You have to install the wireless PCI card. You have to install your HD or USB stick. So basically the microserver has an internal USB port which is not externally accessible on the motherboard itself, and there are a few other motherboards as well who have a USB port, or you can even have more modern motherboards which have serial ATA low smaller HD ports on the board. You can use a PCI card with a HD attached to it, whatever suits your needs and is not breaking the bank. And the last thing is you need to download and copy your IP-Fire software onto a second USB stick, which you have to format according to whatever software you use to make it a bootable USB stick. And that is basically all you need to set it up. And now I will talk you through the installation process of IP-Fire. And you have an IP-Fire wiki, which is very easy to follow, and here we will just have a look at what is necessary and how we run the installation process. So first of all, it says what I've already told you, that you can do it on every 64-bit CPU, but I wouldn't advise to take the lowest specs because it will not be sufficiently quick. And I wouldn't advise to have a 2-port Ethernet card because you will want to extend your IP-Fire box to become a proper router over time. So what we do is, first of all, we prepare the installation media. You write the ISO image to the USB key, which is the usual way, but you can also use any of the other methods mentioned on the wiki page. And then you simply boot up your machine, fire up your machine. I can't let that one go. And you go through the initial setups. First of all, you have to choose your language, and then you will start your installation. That means from whatever machine you are choosing, you have to have access to a mouse and keyboard. So it's not an automated script running the installation. Then you will format your USB stick or hard disk, and the next step is the installation of the software package itself. So that is an easy path to follow. and then you will be greeted with the initial setup. So you use your keyboard layout, which will be listed on the keyboard layout page, and then you use your host name. So if you want to have a dedicated server, you need to acquire a domain, but you can just do it with a host name without domain as well. You need to set a password for root and admin access. The root access is only necessary for the setup itself. You won't need it again. But the admin password is the one which you will need for the actual work. And of course you will need the root password for getting the necessary privileges to do the installation or to alter any installed settings. Now comes the most important thing, the network setup. So if you followed our example on the initial screen, then you have provided a 4-port NIC, and you have provided a Wi-Fi PCI card. So then you will follow the red, orange and blue scheme. That gives us the option for our nextcloud server in the end. So you will need to choose green, red, orange and blue. And then you will choose the NICs, the ports of your card, and dedicate them to your network. So our green card, our green NIC is the one which goes to the switch which supplies the home network. So that is the switch where all your printers or your PC, all your wired instances are fed off. So the first access point onto your home net, and the red zone is the NIC which is connected to your router. Whatever access point you have where your broadband provider sits. So that is basically the modem which comes from your broadband provider, or which you have replaced with, or the one which you have replaced your broadband provider provided modem with. So that is the one where your broadband cable comes into your house. And the blue one is the one which is your wireless PCI card. That means you have two, in the case of a 4-port NIC, of a 4-port network interface cable, you have two left because you're only using green and red. and you have the blue one, which is dedicated for your wireless network. And for your home network, you choose your network range, which you want to have. In this case, it is 192.168.01. You might also use 11, or you can use a 10, 1.10 point subnet. It doesn't matter whatever subnet you choose, but you can just follow the instructions on the screen. It will be exactly what you need. And from the next one, the red zone is the one which connects to your IP, to your ISP, your internet service provider. And that is the red zone. That is the one which is actually exposed to the network, to the internet. And that one is the red zone. And there you get a network address provided by your service provider. So you basically choose the one which states DHCP, or you want to use your machine with a cable modem. As a cable modem, then you can plug the cable directly into the red NIC and use it with your credentials you have from your internet service provider. And that leaves you with the default settings. Either it is a direct connection or DHCP, and then you have to provide the default settings for the gateway, and in turn you have to provide the DHCP settings, which you can also use just the default settings which come with the IP Fire setup. So once you've done all that, you're ready to go. So you reboot your machine, take out the USB stick you installed, and then you have a machine running. And given the network address you have provided here in your green interface, which you have written down on a sheet of paper with the passwords you provided for root and admin address, then you just go onto your laptop or your PC, which is connected to the cable net or to the wireless net, and you put in the address you have provided for your green or blue network. So if you have set up a wireless LAN and you are connecting via wireless, then you have to put in your blue network address. Or if you have a LAN which is cable based, then you have to provide your green network address into your browser. So basically what you're doing is you type in http:// and then your whatever internet address, IP address you have chosen. And that is it. And then your machine is running. And now you configure your network, and now you have to configure your network. According to the wiki. Yeah, that is it. If you are interested in getting more information, there are loads of wiki and links outside on the internet for IP Fire. And if you send us an email, we will be happy to help you with your inquiries. And yeah, that will be your first journey on your way to home office security and peace of mind. I hope you liked the content we provided, and we will see you again next time. Thank you very much for listening.